and welcome to Late Night Review, where we talk about what's happening
and what's not.
I'm Pranav J. Raman.
And I'm Braden Burton, and here are tonight's top stories.
At the recent Oscars, despite many firsts, such as the first woman of color winning the Best Director, Chadwick Boseman made headlines, as many believed he was snubbed in favor of Anthony Hopkins for his role in The Father. To be honest, I would never trust the judgment of an institution that overlooked the masterpiece that is the Lego Movie. No, I won't let it go.
In other awards news, Tom Cruise has recently joined a group of actors who have returned their Golden Globe Awards in protest of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. We here at Longhorn Late Night would like to support actors making this decision, so any further Golden Globe returns can be made directly to us at Longhorn Late Night Studios. And if you could also just scratch out your name and write Pranav and Braden, that would also be much appreciated.
NBC has also announced the Golden Globes will be canceled in 2022. Meanwhile, climate scientists announced that the globe will be canceled in 2030.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Elon Musk hosted SNL recently to the dismay of people who believe his wealth and business practices to be unconscionable. We here at Longhorn Late Night would like to reassure our viewers that Elon Musk will never host our show because we have such things as morals, integrity, and a weekly average viewership of about 5.
In local news, a class action lawsuit has been filed against Quarters on campus, as student residents are complaining about how it was unfair they were relocated to a hotel instead of the room they paid for due to renovations. That's cute, said homeless people displaced by the passage of Prop B.
It was announced that the largest ever Bob Dylan art show will be held in Miami this fall. The show will include 6 decades of the Nobel Prize winner's drawings, paintings, and sculptures, and will be periodically interrupted by shrill and unwarranted blasts of harmonica.
Obama's dog Bo died at the age of 12. He was, in Barack's words, a true friend and a loyal companion. Well, not loyal enough, apparently. Thanks, Obama's dog.
Earlier this month, a Belgian farmer accidentally moved the stones that mark the border between Belgium and France. When he realized his mistake, the Belgian apologized profusely and offered to move the border back. The French surrendered immediately.
Recently, a Polish woman called authorities to deal with a mysterious iguana-like animal in a tree outside her house. The animal in question turned out to be a croissant. Here to comment is renowned croissantologist, Professor Erasmus Guberschmidt.
Yes, hello, thank you for having me.
Now, Professor, how could someone mistake a croissant for an iguana?
Well, it's a mistake that's more common than you might think. The camouflaging abilities of Croissantis francisus, that is the scientific and French name for the French croissant, for those of you who do not know, are unparalleled in nature.
What?
Well, you see, there is a layer of cells called chromatophores just below the crust that allows the croissant to change its color and texture to a remarkable extent. In fact, my research suggests that up to 50% of wild iguana sightings can actually be contributed to croissants.
Oh, your research? Could you explain that?
Yes, my colleagues and I are researching the French croissant and its ability to adapt to novel environments.
That sounds...
We found that the croissant has become established as an invasive species in at least 20 countries. It is something of an alarming case, really, and it is a shame people aren't taking it seriously. Even now, I am forced to come on this improv comedy show just to spread the message.
Excuse me, Professor, I must correct you. This is a sketch comedy show.
You actually wrote this stuff beforehand?
Okay, all right. You know what? We don't have to take this guff from you, okay? This is the best sketch comedy show on this side of Orion's belt.
Well, that is scientifically disprovable. But nonetheless, I'll get back to my point. People buy croissants believing it to be some fancy, artisanal experience. Then when they find out it is just bread, they abandon the croissants into the wilderness where they can become real menaces.
How so?
Well, all sorts of nasty stuff. Tax fraud, arson, the presence of croissants in urban ecosystems has even been linked to a 25% increase in the length of unskippable YouTube ads.
Oh, that sounds terrible. What are we supposed to do about it?
Well, the best thing we can do to help would be to buy Wonder Bread. lots and lots of Wonder Bread. It's incredibly effective at bioremediating the harmful effects of invasive croissants. It's also been shown to increase lifespans, reduce.
Okay, all right. No, I'm sorry. This sounds a little ridiculous. Are you sure you're a scientist and not perhaps a spokesperson for the Wonder Bread Corporation?
I am going through the tunnel.
You're not going
I
through a tunnel.
will have to
You're
call
in a
you
house.
back.
You're
I
on
am
a Zoom
going.
call.
It is very rainy.
It's not a tunnel. It's not raining.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Okay, bye.
oh, got him. Longhorn Late Night 1, Wonder Bread 0. You're toast.
A Houston man who fled with a tiger was arrested last Sunday. Police say the whereabouts of the tiger are currently unknown. And hopefully unrelated news, there's been a low growling noise outside of my door all day.
College football star Najee Harris, who spent some time growing up in a homeless shelter, paid it forward and hosted his NFL draft party at the same homeless shelter as he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, so caring of his community. You can learn a thing or two, Ted Cruz. On that note, I don't understand why everyone was so mad about him leaving. I was more disappointed he came back.
An El Paso man vandalized an animal shelter by throwing a stone through the lobby window. When asked why he would commit such a heinous crime, the man clarified that he was simply dropping off his pet rock.
A Japanese man's birthday plans hit a roadblock after he was caught dating 35 women in a clever bid to keep receiving birthday gifts throughout the year. A skilled salesman by profession, the man named Miyagawa tricked 35 women into becoming his girlfriends, with each being told a different date of birth. He was arrested for fraud for his actions. Meanwhile, in America, when you mingle and defraud 35 women at the same time, they give you your own show and call it The Bachelor.
McDonald's is releasing a new meal option inspired by famous K-pop band BTS. Meanwhile, at Burger King, the F. Scott Fitzgerald meal has been met with a response that can only be described as tepid.
Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has suspended all COVID restrictions, stating that we are no longer in a state of emergencies. This coming from Florida, the state of emergencies.
Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, so don't forget to call your mothers. What's that? You sure? Okay, it was last weekend, and I'm a bad son.
After 27 years of marriage, Bill and Melinda Gates are separating. Maybe it was communication issues, but what else would you expect when you're using a Windows phone? For Late Night Review, I'm Pranav J. Raman.
I'm Braden Burton. Good night.
Some of us from Houston, some of us from Dallas, some close to Mexico. Shout out to the valley. Watch Longhorn.